everybody. Claim to Fame episode 2. We've got a couple more people who have their celebrities revealed, or like we find out anyways. Also got some guesses for all the other people who we haven't quite solved yet. Although I think if you go online, you're probably going to be able to find people who have solved all the celebrities in pretty short order. So let's quickly run through what happened this episode. So everyone was given a chance to get more clues on all of their fellow house guests through a game which involved them reaching into a box where they could not see the item and trying to figure out what an item was just by feel. There was a couple interesting ones to me for this. One was obviously the orange, which is for orange is the new black, and Laverne Cox, who is X's twin. The other one was the Spider-Man, which ended up being the clue for Michael because his cousin Zendaya was in Spider-Man. And then we had clues that were like the AstroTurf, which to me is just ultra generic. Like, what if the Laverne Cox clue had been, oh, it's a TV because she was on a TV show? No, but instead the clue for Brittany and her dad was AstroTurf. And it's like everybody already knew that Brittany was related to somebody who plays football. Like, we don't need to know that. Same with the Logan clue, which ended up just being a belt buckle. Like, oh, you know this person who we already knew did country music. Yep, they still do country music. I mean, I guess it helps to rule out which of the clues were lies and which were truth. But very, very silly to me. So in that competition, X ends up being our winner, and Dominique and Pepper end up on the bottom. So X is going to get a clue, and Dominique and Pepper will be voted on by the house, and one of them will be forced to make a guess on who they think someone is. So X, for his clue, decided to go after Brittany, thought Brittany was probably his toughest competition, and really wanted to just solidify his thoughts on who her relative was. And really, you know, it was a pretty good clue, but I just love that moment when X looked at the clue and realized, like, I don't know a damn thing about sports. Why did I go for the clue on the person who played or the person who's related to somebody in sports? After some deeper digging, was able to lock that onto Brett Favre, who we did get confirmed as being Brittany's dad this episode. So everyone goes to vote, and we ended up with a 5-3 vote to make Pepper guess again. I think if I was in the house, I would always be voting for the person who I had the lowest chance of figuring out who they were related to, because, you know, that might be the only way to get someone like Pepper out of the house, by, you know, forcing Pepper to make the wrong guess. But Pepper, unlike last week, made a correct guess, and she guessed that Michael was related to Zendaya, and Michael is done. The house seemed quite happy about getting Michael out because he was really rubbing everyone the wrong way this episode. You know, even you go back to that talk he was having with X, where, you know, Michael was kind of trying to play himself off as some mastermind detective, and even X, who was playing along, wasn't buying it one bit. and then like to go from there, you know, he kept jumping in on all of the ladies' conversations when clearly he wasn't wanted, and always just straight game, going for the jugular, trying to figure out who everybody is. While I think it was LC said, like, you don't even ask, like, how's your day going? Did you remember to eat some food today? You just go straight to game, and as a result, Michael is done and gone from this game. So that's going to wrap up our recap, but we will go through everyone with some guesses and on who they are related to. You know, we'll start with the ones that were either spoiled in the show or just so extremely obvious that we just know. The first up being Louise. Come on, like get real here. You came on a show about hiding who your celebrity relative was while having the identical face to that person. Really, two people fall into this category, but I'm talking about Louise and her sister Simone Biles. It's almost becoming like a running gag on this show that no one is going to go after her because it is just so obvious who she is related to. Also, we have X, aka Lamar, who is Laverne Cox's twin brother, and you know, we get the orange clue. The orange is the new black. People also on the show trying to figure it out, and X knew that was going to be a problem, and that's why we see X, you know, with the dreads over the face and the heavy makeup, the facial hair, everything trying to distract you away from really having a close look at X's face, because if you do and you are a fan of Orange is the New Black, you're going to immediately know that relative is Laverne Cox. Next up, we have Amara, who is related to Whoopi Goldberg. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we actually had, I think it was Michael, like put it together that Amara was related to Whoopi, but then got kicked out before really sharing that with anybody else, which could bode quite well for Amara and protecting her relative's identity, and that is Whoopi Goldberg. And our fourth person in this category is Brittany, who we confirmed tonight is related to Brett Favre. You know, that was a guess from the comments last week, confirmed on the show this week. And really, Brittany is in a pretty bad spot in the game because that guess has been floated around through pretty much everyone in the house at this point. So Brittany is probably sitting right under Louise as the easy guess for anyone who ends up having to make a guess and isn't totally sure. Now we jump over to the people we're a little bit less confident in. I'll start with Pepper. You know, our guest last week was Susan Sarandon. Getting the olive clue this week probably rules that out. You know, I don't really know who this is. Could be you know, some old time one of those Cool Cat singers, maybe somebody from the Rat Pack. I don't even know who was in the Rat Pack, so that could be just an outlandish guess. Or even maybe veering into James Bond territory with the Martini Olives. I kind of doubt the James Bond territory, but just thought I'd throw it out there just based on the clue. Next up, we have Lark. For Lark, we really are running on the 80s runway queen clue, and one name that keeps popping up is Cindy Crawford, but you know, I'm not totally confident on that because from my recollection, she was a 90s runway queen, which, you know, unless if we're just kind of kind of being thrown a curveball on that clue. I think it comes close to ruling her out. The house is really locked in on Catherine Zeta-Jones, and they're really stumped on trying to figure out who Catherine Zeta-Jones is married to. The best guess that they came up with for that was Sean Connery, but I just drew a blank. Michael Douglas, there we go, is the actual person that she is married to. And another name I wanted to throw out there, I don't think that this is the person, but Christy Brinkley, just because she fits that 80s runway queen clue, and I just wanted to throw that out there as a possibility. Next up, we have Logan. Like I said last week, I don't know country. I don't think anybody on this show knows country, so as long as Logan can make his guesses, he's going to have a really good shot at winning this whole thing. Two names that popped up in the comments last week was Jason Aldean and Luke Bryan. I'm kind of doubting that this is Luke Bryan's relative, but knowing absolutely nothing about country music, Jason Aldean sounds good to me. Next up, we have LC. We kind of had a guess on the show, which was Forrest Whitaker, which it seems like LC, confirmed is wrong. So we're back to square one for LC. I don't even really have a guess. When I see her, I feel like there's a resemblance there to someone, but just haven't been able to peg that down just yet. Kai, no clue. Really, we don't see Kai that much on the show. She's not been one of the main characters, and I really just have nothing to go on there for the clue. Last up, we have Dominique, who was in the bottom this week, and I don't have much of a guess here either, but a name I did come up with was Lonnie Love, who is a comedian that seems to pop up on a ton of random reality and contest type shows. So why not Lonnie Love? So that's going to wrap things up for this week, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'm really loving Claim to Fame. Monday was supposed to be the Bachelorette night, but scrap that. We are all in on Claim to Fame and can't wait to see everyone's guesses in the comments once again. And I just want to hear how everyone's enjoying the show so far. So that's it, everybody. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you later.